Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is almost that time of the year, when we got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, gifts season is in the air, and fragrances are a wonderful gift to give. But it's not that easy. When you're giving a fragrance, how do you know if they're going to like it? How to pick that particular fragrance for that person so it's not just a desk ornament. This is especially crucial if you're buying for somebody who does not wear fragrances and you want them to. They're already inclined to not wear it. And, when you're buying for somebody for Christmas, you don't want to break the bank. You don't want to spend a fortune on something that you know that they might not even like. So in this video, we're going to go over how to do that. My suggestions, I got probably 30 fragrances here, and take it from step one. Also going to include some ladies' scents as well. So fellas, if you're buying for a girlfriend, but it's going to be pretty detailed. So I'm just going to get right into it, and we'll explain as we go. So one particular thing that I think people do, especially, Black Friday's coming up, the sales are coming up, is that they want to go to the rack stores. They want to go to physical stores still. I think that's come back a little bit, and man, there are some great fragrances at these rack stores, and the ones I'm talking about are TJ Maxx, which apparently is not anywhere in North Carolina, North America, other than the United States. They have Marshalls in Canada, and they have Marshalls here too. It's the same thing, same owner, and so, excuse me, the same owner and the same deals, and it really does come down to the general manager and what kind of fragrances and how much they order. But it's the same thing in the UK. They have TK Maxx. I mean, that is going to be one of your best bets. You also have Ross. You also have, like I said, Marshalls, and then Burlington. And you're going to see kind of a combination from a lot of them here. But to start off with, I don't recommend Ulta. Ulta's great for going and testing fragrances, but they will never be affordable or competitively priced. I also don't recommend Sephora for the same reason. However, there comes a time at TJ Maxx and Sephora where they have gift sets. They will have little miniature fragrances, and they'll sell them in these packs. Go and grab some of those packs, man. Those are awesome. It comes with like 15 different fragrances. It's super affordable, $20-$30, and has a coupon for like $30 off. And you pay $30 for it, so it's like you paid nothing if that's the person goes and gets a fragrance that they like. So that's the only thing I recommend from getting from these stores. And for that reason, I also have this in one of my lineups as well. You can see me sample all of these in my 6-hour fragrance video. But these are great. These variety packs, this Cuba, they're on sale right now at Fragrance Net. $12-$13 for this whole thing. 4 different fragrances. Sometimes variety is good. If you get somebody, 15 fragrances, samplers, and they don't like a single one, okay, well, that's probably an indication they're just not going to like anything. So getting those samplers allows you your best chance. But let's get into going to some of these rack stores like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Ross. All of them have deals on a company called English Laundry, and this is what they look like. At Ross, you can actually find them boxed. At TJ Maxx, they're just loose. And I think they carry about 7 or 8. They're TJ Maxx, they're going for 15 right now. I picked the best two that I think the best two, and it just so happened that they are the most popular and easiest to find. Crown and Oxford Blue. This is kind of your quintessential Paco Rabanne kind of fruity, fresh fragrance. And then this over here is obviously more of a sophisticated, floral kind of blues, aquatic fragrance. Both of them I give a huge thumbs up for $15. You're getting a lot of fragrance for that price. Also at TK Maxx, they have these brands. Contra. Now Contra, these are replica clones of very famous designer fragrances. This guy here, this is the Latin Royal Edition. All of them are good. This is a clone of Parfum de Marly's Leighton. It's a very good fragrance indeed. And again, $15, wonderful. My first tip to all of you, whether it's ladies shopping for men, men shopping for men, men shopping for ladies, whatever it is look at the concentration. Don't get somebody an eau de cologne. Don't even get them an EDT if you can help it. Fellas, don't pick up body mists and body sprays. Ladies and other fellas, Bath and Body Works is great. Those fragrances, don't get those, okay? Get EDP concentrations. Get fragrances that are going to last, project, and do well, okay? So, all of these so far have been EDP concentrations, I believe, unless I'm mistaken about Oxford. No, it's an EDP Eau de Parfum is what it's called. Now this next one, and I guess the last one in this, is a TJ Maxx find as well that I didn't even know existed, and I'll tell you that I stand behind this fragrance so much that I literally went back to TJ Maxx and bought these as Christmas gifts. This is what I am personally giving out as Christmas gifts, and it's from the house of Joseph Aboud. If you cannot find this in stores for $15, don't get it. Don't go online and pay $80 for this. It's not worth it. Fresh, mountainous, gorgeous fragrance. Mountain is the best. Bespoke, and then terrain. Not in that order. I think probably terrain and then bespoke follows, but $15 fragrance. Incredible. Hits above its weight class 100%. So, those are the TJ Maxx fragrances that I recommend. Also find them at Marshall's, but let's keep going. At Ross and Burlington, you're gonna find a lot of Banana Republic fragrances, and my favorite is Midnight Hour. This is a $20 fragrance in the store. If you go to Banana Republic, this is going to be $60, $70. Again, don't pay that. This is a little bit more of a divisive scent. I don't know if everybody is going to like this so far. Pretty much all of my fragrances have been very not offensive, right? If you were buying a cologne for somebody, avoid leather fragrances. Avoid tobacco fragrances. Those are divisive. So many people love them. So many people hate them. Try to get something a little neutral. So this rides it a little bit on the line. Midnight Hour is a clone-ish of a fragrance called Credaventus, which is probably the most clone fragrance of all time at this point. It replaces a pineapple note that it has in the beginning with a custardy kind of mango opener, and when it dries down, it's masculine and smoky, and a wonderful fragrance, $20. If you see that at Ross or Burlington, pick it up. Another one that you might find at Burlington, and this is a wonderful segue because I wanted to talk about something here. Know who you're buying for. Are you buying it for your boyfriend, okay, or your husband? How old are they? If they are teens to 40, pick something playful. Pick something that is energetic and youthful. If you're buying it for, a sibling, yeah, playful, youthful. If you're buying it for, a spouse or something like that, you might want to pick something that you enjoy. A little bit of date night, some complexity in that. And if you're buying for your father, you can never go wrong with spicy sports type fragrances. And so these next ones go out to the brother or the father, I think, are perfect. And that's who I end up buying stuff for. My father, I don't have any brothers, but I'm always buying fragrances for my father. And speaking of Burlington, I got one that you'll find at all of the Burlingtons right now. And it's Barcelona, FC Barcelona. Real Madrid also has one that is more complex, richer, not dad approved in my opinion. This is your quintessential dad fragrance, brother fragrance, son fragrance. It's sweet, it's fruity, it's energetic, it's playful, it's $10, which is one of the best attributes that it has. If you want to spend just a little bit more money, you can get a better fragrance like CR7. CR7, it's playful, but it also has a bit of musky and a little bit of woodsyness to it, a little bit more masculine. A lot of young people and a lot of, and the dads, people are kind of, they like to smell good, but they've never actually had fragrances. They're familiar with like Axe body spray, right? So when you're buying something for one of those people, you're coming up with something very Axe-ish, something that's inoffensive and that that they'll like. And CR7 is good. Now, if you want to be a little bit more daring, then spice it up a little bit and go with Usher. You can get Usher right now at the Ross, the rack stores, and what you have here is a black, spicy, musky, manly fragrance. $20. Be the best $25 that you'll ever spend. Incredible fragrance if you're looking for a dad, brother, son fragrance. Again, I would just assume if you're buying it for somebody that you're intimate with, you'd want something a little less playful, a little bit more romantic, date night kind of fragrance. So, TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, Burlington. If all else fails, there's always Walmart. Walmart has got some good stuff. And this is a little preview. There is a fragrance house, a cologne fragrance house, that only does business on Amazon and Walmart, and it's called Perfumes Belcam. This is a bit of a sneak peek to a video that's coming up that I'm going to do shortly with a lot of these guys, and I just grabbed a random one. This is a version of Profundo, ADG's Profundo, Acqua di Gio, and you're talking about anywhere from $8 to $25 on the high end. They're great. I think these are wonderful car fragrances. So now I kind of want to switch it up just a little bit to some more of that sultry kind of stuff, and this is, I guess, kind of a double, right? I guess I'll cover two of them that I think are wonderful sultry fragrances that you may or may not be able to find in stores. And then after I do that, I'm going to jump into online ordering. So my first one is going to be Salvatore Ferragamo. Salvatore Ferragamo, to me, it smells like, in fact, I don't have to guess or try to remember. I have a tester strip. To me, Salvatore Ferragamo, it smells like a Tootsie Roll that was dropped into brandy or scotch or something, a very boozy, gourmandy, meaning like food, very sweet, dessert-esque fragrance, $30. And this is gonna be good for someone that likes sort of rich type of fragrances. This is gonna be good for somebody who has a lot of sports, exciting, energetic fragrances, that doesn't have a day-night fragrance, that doesn't have a rich, complex profile. It's an incredible fragrance. What can I say? This next fragrance, before we move on to our Amazon, basically it's Amazon. You can go and shop other discounters. I believe I will firmly stand by this opinion, at least currently. This fragrance is the greatest fragrance on the market right now, period. It's my favorite right now anyways. And this is Kamrah's Quawah, or Lattafa Kamrah Quawah, made by Lattafa. This is taking the DNA of one of the greatest fragrances out there, Angel Share, making it better, giving it a bit of that apple hit from the beginning, sweet, spicy apple at the beginning, boozy, and then when it sits, it gets that butterscotch kind of gourmand type of vibe to it, spicy, gorgeous fragrance. Now this is $25 to $30. Angel Share is $2 to $2.50 depending on the size that you get, obviously. The projection on this is unreal. You can spray it, and this is why I love it. I went on a date just yesterday and sprayed it, spent a lot of time outside too, went putt-putt, mini golfing, and by the time that I got back home, like 10 hours, it was a good date. It was like 10 hours later, it was a really good date. I could still smell it, clear as day, and it was a 3 spray, and I was done, and you just don't get that. You don't see that level of performance. In my opinion, that is the best fragrance on the market right now. Okay, so now I want to talk about some online orders. You go on Amazon or hit up some of these places. Joma Shop is having a Black Friday sale on designer fragrances. I picked up a couple of those. FragranceBuy.ca always has good deals on Black Friday. Amazon, you really gotta watch Amazon, because like those English laundries I showed you earlier, they're still selling those for like $80 on Amazon. You can definitely get ripped off on Amazon. Perfume Spot, Fragrance Net, good Black Friday's sales. So the one thing though that I want to communicate to everybody: don't get the designer fragrances unless you have somebody that you know they're gonna like it. Do not go out and get $140 Spice Bomb Infrared just can't stress enough. Don't buy the niche. Don't buy the design. It's a waste of money if you're gifting them to somebody else and you don't know if they're gonna like it. Just a waste of money. So even though we're ordering these online, we're still saying frugal. So I'm gonna hate myself for this one, and I might not be able to sleep tonight because of all the self-loathing, but I gotta say it. Nautica Voyage is a quintessential blues fragrance. I don't like this fragrance, but this list is not about what I like and what I don't like. It's what I think are the best options for the holiday this year. And Nautica Voyage consistently, always at the top. Thousands a month sold. The best. Women buy it because they like the fact that it's fruity and feminine, and they like making their husbands and boyfriends or children wear it. And then because they like it. And then, men like it. It's cheap, and they like it because women like it. So I cannot diss this too much. Nautica Voyage. It's just frag heads. People who are super into fragrances, they don't like it. But I'm gonna give the devil his due right there. Okay, next, I've been talking about this over and over and over again. And it's Halloween. Halloween is a fragrance that's a designer, by the way, or not the designer. Jesus de Bozo is a designer. This is the line Halloween. $30 fragrance if you buy it at a discounter. This is a fragrance that is going to smell like a $250 fragrance. This one right here is very similar to Paco Rabanne's 1 Million, but there are so many other ones. X has a gorgeous coffee note, and it's just, Halloween is phenomenal. And what I like about that is you're gonna give this fragrance and the person's gonna be like, man, you spent too much. You spent too much on this. And don't tell them it was only $30, because they're gonna look at that and think that you straight up bought a $200 fragrance for them. Not the case. And the same could be said for these next ones as well. Next is Nuit. When you are buying for other people, or even yourself, Middle Eastern design houses are going to give you an incredible value. This right here is a clone of Green Irish Tweed by Creed. A wonderful, wonderful springtime, soft, grassy, earthy kind of fragrance, worn by George Clooney and 17 other Pierce Brosnan, a whole bunch of celebrities. This, I have Green Irish Tweed. I think this is better than Green Irish Tweed because this removes the spiciness and the pepper notes and puts in sweetness, and I think it improves it. I honestly do. $25-$30. It's a no-brainer. And then everybody's favorite is gonna be Club de Nuit's Intense. This is the limited edition version, the Parfum, but buy any edition. It works. EDTs, EDBs. This is a clone of Creed Aventus, like Midnight Hour, but this kicks Midnight Hour's butt. It is the greatest projecting and performing fragrance I've ever used, ever, period. For $40-$50 for the Parfum edition. Destroys $300 fragrances. Unbelievable. This, you could get this for anybody. Doesn't matter who they are to you, boyfriend, husband, son, father. Doesn't matter. I've even seen women wear that. That one's kind of weird. I don't necessarily suggest that, but I've seen it. Okay. And I guess the last one that I just wanted to mention for online fragrances, and I have one of blood's cousins as well here, but from the house of Lattafa, Frugal is one of the best lines right now from any fragrance house. This is a clone of 1 Million's Parfum, and the black version is a clone of YSL's Y. They are not only incredible clones, they're $20, $25. They last, they project, and they do a wonderful job. I cannot recommend Frugal enough. If you have a boyfriend that likes, or boyfriend, husband, son, father, that likes fun fragrances, energetic fragrances, pick that up. If you have one that likes a little bit more seriousness, maybe college age or older man, pick up the black one. Just, you can't go wrong. Literally, these are, in my opinion, zero risk fragrances. You just can't go wrong with these guys. So, okay. Now I want to talk about some of my suggestions for perfumes. So, a lot of, the ladies out there, man, I do not like a lot of perfumes, I'll be honest with you. They are usually very heavy in the florals. It's just a little odd. Men just don't gravitate towards it that much, so what I have to do is try to find something that has overtly fruity notes or some rich complexity, and what it comes down to a lot of times are vanilla notes. Women like them because they smell good to them, and men like it because it's kind of like what they say, an aphrodisiac. It gets them going, and it's pleasant as well. I could have put Cremo Spice and Black Vanilla on here. In fact, I should have. So that's my version one, is Cremo Spice and Black Vanilla. It used to be an $8 fragrance. It sold so well that now it's up to $20, but it's simple. It's vanilla, cashmere wood, and cardamom. Incredible fragrance, wonderful. And I think it's pretty easy to shop for women now, because these days modern fragrances are unisex. That's the trend. The trend is unisex fragrances. So I go back to Born in Roma, Intense. You don't even have to get the Donna version, which is the women's version. You get the men's version to still be unisex. And I go back to Lattafa's Kamrah. This is all day. Could be a perfume all day. But I do have a couple of suggestions that I think are much more feminine. And that first off, I couldn't find hardly anything other than maybe a couple of the Baccarat clones, but I couldn't find hardly anything in the rack stores. I had to go outside of that. And my first one is Honor and Glory by the House of Lattafa, and this is from the Bidet Al Oud line, Honor and Glory. Now they have a apple version called Sublime. It's like a spiced apple, really nice. I'm sure women would like that. This is a burnt pineapple fragrance, pineapple brulee is what they call it. It is a two-hitter quitter. It is incredibly pungent and potent. Incredible fragrance. It is just not masculine enough for me to wear it on its own. Not to say that it can't be, and it's not a men's fragrance. It 100% can be. Every time I've worn it, it's usually been layered with something else, and I just think it would be great because I love the fragrance. I just don't want to wear it on me, and you'll find that there's nothing wrong with that. So that's a really good one. But their Sublime, their apple one, I would love on a woman because I hate it on me. It's too feminine for me for that one. personal preference. That's all it is. It's just personal preference. Next, check out these fragrances from ALD Alt. They started carrying them in Marshalls now. A couple in TJ Maxx. I have one right here, one of my favorites. Cherry Smash, and this is a clone of Tom Ford's. Was it Lost Cherry? I think so. Lost Cherry. Very, very good. Black cherry, rich black cherry depth. This is the type of cherry that is in a lot of women's fragrances, like black opium over red. Very similar. I got to try one of their mashups, which was a mix of Baccarat and Lost Cherry. It was weird. I didn't like it. Now, a little bit words of wisdom here. The caps are almost always unscrewed because you can just screw these off. There's always juice that's going to be missing. I've sprayed this once and you can see how much is missing because the cap came off and it spilled. So you're going to get less right for your money. Second, if you can find these in stores, they're going to be substantially cheaper than ordering online. Online, this was, $40. In stores, it's $20. If they have that particular one, you might have to go to Alt, and they might have a good Thanksgiving Black Friday deal. If they do, I might order some more. But in my opinion, I don't know if it's worth 40, but it's definitely worth 20. And man, the reason why I know that this will last forever, or is a not last forever. Yes, that too. I guess I'll go into that first. The reason why I know it'll last forever is because this is an extrait. When you spray fragrance on your skin, hold it up to the light. You'll notice an eau de cologne evaporates before it ever even gets to the skin. An EDT will not leave a trace typically. An EDP, you'll see oil because that's all fragrances are. It's alcohol and oil with scented oil, With this, you spray it on your skin and it looks like the BP oil spill all over again. Like you just see oil all up and down where you sprayed it. There is a high concentration. It projects well. It lasts a long time. And, for $20-$30, this is the deal of a century. For $40-$50, maybe not. But what I meant to say earlier is that how I know this works is because I've used it. I've used alts, and I've given them to my sisters as gifts, and they love them. Absolutely love them. And, man, there's a reason why they started carrying them in the rack stores, too. They're good value, so alt. And then I also wanted to give one that I have not even opened yet, but I have it with me right here, and my favorite fragrance, perfume. I guess black opium over red might be, but if it's not that, it is L'Interdit by Givenchy, right? Givenchy's L'Interdit, and they finally made a clone of it. And wouldn't you know, it's from the same house and the same line as what I just showed you earlier. And this is Frugal's White. I'm very excited to unbox this, but I've smelled it. I've smelled it before, and I love L'Interdit. I think it's wonderful. So, $20. It's a fun fact. I went to Ulta one time, and I was checking out the fragrances, as I often do. And I went around to just about every fragrance and sampled it. like it, but after smelling it 12 hours later strong, I'm like, dang it, now I gotta buy a freaking $200 fragrance, for 2 ounces. And man, I went right over to landed it, and I sprayed it, and I sprayed it on me. Projection monster, and didn't realize it was a perfume at the time, because it's not overly floral or something that's gonna, legitimately attracted me more than any other fragrance in there. And that and Libre, I love Libre Intense. That's number 2, and I don't have that. I want that Libre Intense by YSL. And I sprayed and ended it and added it to the list. So that's what I do when I find a fragrance I like, add it to the list. And just in the process of looking up what it costs other places, I was like, oh, it's a perfume. It's not unisex technically, but I didn't complain, man. I was happy with it. So I love landed it. I believe it was designed for was an Audrey Hepburn. I want to say that that's the case. American actress. I want to say that was the case, but it was designed for an American actress. So that's it, man. That's my list here, and this is not extensive. You can go out, find your own, and if you did, let me know what you picked up. But this is going to all these rack stores over the last 2 months, and my budget is $20-30, and I am just like all of you. I want to spend the least and get the most. And what I really love about these rack store finds too is this is like a going, gone thing. This isn't something that they'll always have. So anytime that I can snag a $90 fragrance like English Laundry for $15, I'm like, I'll take them all, because they're not gonna be there forever. But everything from $10 to $30-40, but I just don't want to go over that for a Christmas gift. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of direction, if that's why you're watching this. If you're watching this for direction, if you're watching it for sleep and relaxation, awesome. If you're watching it to chill, what's up? But yeah, man, this is sort of my best fragrances that I can foresee giving as gifts. Not these are mine. I refuse to part with these, but going out and getting multiple versions of this to give as gifts. And I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet and go get some more of those Oxford Blues too, because that is a heck of a fragrance, and for $15 you can't beat it. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next video.